I told you I'll be back. Oh, I am a fucking loser. I really am. Yo guys, and welcome back to Bucket List Movies. This is the series where I watch movies that I haven't seen yet that people always tell me you need to see this before you die. So what I do is I give you my initial thoughts going into the movie, I go away and watch the movie, and then come back and give a little review about what I think of it. Today, as you can clearly tell, I'm doing The Sound of Music. Nah, it's Terminator. You know it's Terminator. And yes, I know I haven't seen it. I don't know how. It's one of those movies that I feel everybody has seen, like literally everyone except me has seen it. But before you get mad in the comments for me not seeing it, I am actually watching it, so relax. So, what am I expecting from The Terminator? To be honest, just a really good movie. From what I've seen of this movie, the imagery looks really cool, and it's probably Arnold Schwarzenegger's most highly regarded role outside of something like Predator or The Expendables. I'm just hoping that there's good action. Like, I've heard about the scenes in this, but I'm hoping that there is some good action to it. Because there's so many different movies now, I'm really excited to see where it all began. People have said that Terminator Genesis, it kind of messes up the franchise, as did Terminator Salvation. I wouldn't know, but this is supposed to be a good one. I'm just expecting a good movie, you know? I'm not expecting to absolutely love it upon first viewing, but I am hoping that I do enjoy it, because in terms of my list of movies that I've got for this series, this is up there as one of the most anticipated that I wanted to see, that I really actually wanted to see. I'm also really curious to see this film just because it's linked to me in some way. So for those of you who don't know, in real life my name isn't actually Wingy, it's Alex. However, when my mum and dad were deciding on a name for me, one of the choices was Kyle, and that was after Kyle Reese in Terminator. So I want to see what this guy is like, because I could have been named after him, so hopefully he's not a complete and utter arsehole. Although I am, but it doesn't matter, does it? So I'm going to go away and watch the movie now, and hopefully I like it. I'll see you in a sec.
2 hours later.
How have I never seen that before? Honestly, that film surprised me. The same with Trainspotting, which is the last one that I did, which is currently on my channel if you want to go and check it out. I don't know where this came from. But The Terminator surpassed my expectations. It just seems impossible how I could not have seen this movie before. It's clearly something that I would enjoy, and I knew that, and now that I've seen it, it's fantastic. So let's talk about some of the main things that I enjoyed about this film. First of all, it doesn't really look that dated in terms of like the plot and the story and the special effects. In terms of things like cars, clothes, locations, things like that, some of the technology, yeah, it is a bit dated, but in terms of everything else, you can watch it now like I just have, and it still holds up. Considering that this was made in the 80s, they did a really good job. I don't know how true this is, but it definitely seems like it's ahead of its time. As great as the special effects are, they aren't all great though. The only thing that I have a massive problem with really was the fake Arnold Schwarzenegger. Where he's taking his eye out, it's clearly just a fake prop. Like it does not look real at all. It looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah, but it just doesn't look like a real Arnold Schwarzenegger. It clearly looks like a prop, which understandably at the time, and I imagine with the budget as well, that was the best that they could do, but it is very noticeable and it kind of takes you out of the movie for a second. Luckily, it doesn't appear too much, so it doesn't really distract you from the movie or detract from the movie that much. But I've got to say, the futuristic world, that is easily one of the best dystopian futures that I have ever seen. And I know that there are some great ones out there. There's some movies that have them that are on this list and will be in this series, such as Blade Runner, which I may or may not do next. It's either Blade Runner or Pan's Labyrinth next, so make sure you subscribe to see them. Here it is again. Interesting. But yeah, it looked great. I think it was model work. I'm pretty sure it was model work. It looks fantastic. It holds up brilliantly. I'm used to classic Doctor Who, so I'm kind of used to seeing that sort of stuff all the time. But it still looks great in Terminator. They really give you a sense in that dystopian future that there is no hope. That they are literally clutching at straws by sending Kyle Reese back, that is literally one of the only things that they can possibly do. I know they say that John Connor turned everything around, but in the glimpses that you see of the future, still doesn't look that great. However, one thing that definitely needs to be praised, the cast in this are fantastic. They really are. And I've got to say, considering the parody that he is sort of turned into, Arnold Schwarzenegger is great. People now just see him as walking catchphrases, but in this he looks genuinely threatening, creepy, and really intimidating. And that isn't necessarily down to his size, that's due to his facial expressions. And yes, even though he doesn't have too many lines in this movie, I would say that it is a hard job to pull off those facial expressions. People think it's easy, it's just, oh yeah, just pull a weird face. No, it takes more than that. He keeps it up, and he is very, very intense. He's easily one of the standouts in this movie for me. And my potential namesake, Kyle Reese. He seems a bit weird at first, but yeah, he's a really cool character, and I was gutted at the end. I was gonna say spoiler then, but that kind of gives it away. However, I'm literally the only person right now who has not seen Terminator, so you already know what happens. He's great. If I was named after him, I'd be okay with it until I got to my school days, and then everyone would just treat me like a South Park character. Day in, day out, my life would just sort of be like this.
Fuck you, Kyle. You're a piece of shit.
But yeah, the cast in this movie, great. Sarah Connor, really great. She started out a bit meek, but I think that's the point of the movie. You see her character develop into a much stronger character, and the Sarah Connor that they're actually talking about at the beginning of the movie, and it works really well. The time travel aspect and the entire concept of this film as well, brilliant. This is clearly a trendsetter. There's so much imagery and storytelling in this that you just look at a lot of other big blockbuster films that have come out in the last 30 years or so, and it is so obvious that they get their inspiration from this film, which I don't blame them. It's a really great concept and really easy to follow as well. At first it may be a bit confusing as well, what the hell is going on here? But the film explains it to you gradually over the course of the runtime, that by the end you're just like, yep, got it, that makes sense. And they don't really spend too long on exposition either, which I am very relieved of. Not only that, this film has some great and brutal action. Usually with films, they take a few minutes to get going, like the first 10 minutes or so, it's setting up your characters and that sort of thing. Nope, right from the get-go, Arnie lands, bam, shoves his hand through somebody's chest and rips their heart out. And it really kind of sets the tone for the rest of the film. The action in this looks great. It's just guns, bullets, blood, it's brilliant. If you're a bit squeamish, there are some moments in this that may put you off, but overall the action is fine, and I never thought once that it went too far or that it was too over the top. It's big and bombastic, yes, but it never really feels over the line. Okay, so usually at this point I ask you guys what you think, and you guys did come back to me and you did reply, because I put once again on Facebook and Twitter what you think of the Terminator. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, by the way, because the link is in the description. And there's your hat trick. Michael says, Terminator and Terminator 2, fantastic films. Completely agree with you. Lewis, my old friend from college, shout out Lewis. Terminator 1 and 2 are classics and definitely a bucket list movie, 100%. It is definitely a bucket list movie for me. However, one of my closest friends in real life, so Brandon, about to embarrass you here, first Terminator is a good film, but don't really think it's a bucket list movie. That's just my opinion. Well, pretty much as usual, I don't agree with you, but it is what it is. But it is interesting that you think that, and I'm sure other people may think that as well, because this typically is one of the movies that I see on lists online. I see it pop up all the time, so it's really weird that there are people out there who genuinely don't think that. But for me, guys, is Terminator a bucket list movie? I've already answered it. Yeah, it really fucking is. This is definitely a bucket list movie. Everyone has got to see this at some point, whether you're a man, woman, child, elderly, young, maybe not kids. Don't show your kids. And I am so glad that I finally got around to watching it. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? Is it a bucket list movie? Is it not? What do you think of it? Whatever you thought, comment below and let me know. And if you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more random crap on my channel and more of this bucket list movies. I promise I won't dress up like a weirdo in every single one, unless you want me to, in which case, subscribe, why not? But until next time, guys, that is going to be everything from me. Go and watch Terminator, go and subscribe to me, take care of yourselves, goodbye. Whatever you think, comment below down below. What?